The night shift at Deep Space Monitoring Station Alpha was usually quiet. Captain Marcus stared at his coffee cup, watching the dark liquid swirl as he stirred it for the 100th time. The station, hidden beneath the lunar surface, was humanity's first line of defense against the unknown threats of space. Not that anyone beyond Earth knew about it. The soft hum of computers filled the room as dozens of screens displayed various sectors of space. Marcus had spent 5 years watching these screens, and in all that time, nothing unusual had ever appeared. Tonight was different. "Sir," the young operator's voice cracked with excitement, "we're picking up something beyond Neptune's orbit." Marcus walked over, his boots clicking against the metal floor. "Show me." The main screen lit up with a complex energy reading. Whatever it was, it didn't match any known natural phenomenon. The energy signature pulsed in a regular pattern, too precise to be random. "Run it through the database," Marcus ordered, leaning closer to the screen. His heart began to beat faster, but his voice remained calm. Years of military training had taught him to hide his emotions. The computer beeped negative. "No match found." "Sir, there's more," another operator called out. "We're detecting encrypted transmissions. The pattern. It's like nothing we've ever seen before." Marcus pressed a button on his comm unit. "Get me the Joint Chiefs. Authorization code. Phoenix 7 Delta." Within minutes, screens around the room lit up with faces of military leaders from around the world. They had prepared for this moment for decades, but now that it was here, it felt surreal. "Ladies and gentlemen," Marcus began, "at 300 hours, our deep space monitors detected an artificial energy signature beyond Neptune. We are not alone, and they're heading our way." The room erupted in controlled chaos. Orders were given, protocols activated. Within an hour, military bases worldwide went on silent alert. Submarine captains opened sealed orders they hoped they'd never have to read. Hidden missile silos powered up, their existence unknown even to most world governments. Back at the monitoring station, Marcus watched as more data poured in. The unknown object was massive, nearly the size of a small moon. It moved with purpose, its trajectory clearly planned. "Sir, we're picking up more signals," the communications officer reported. They're trying to access our satellites." Marcus smiled grimly. Let them try. Earth's true defensive capabilities were hidden behind layers of decoy systems. What looked like primitive satellites to outside observers were actually advanced warning posts. "Keep monitoring, but don't respond," Marcus ordered. "Let them think we haven't noticed them yet." The hours crawled by. More ships appeared at the edge of their sensor range. A fleet was gathering, hidden from conventional Earth telescopes, but clear as day to the station's advanced sensors. Marcus studied the tactical display. The alien ships formed a perfect attack formation, though they probably thought they were being subtle. Their energy signatures suggested weapons powered down, presenting a peaceful appearance. But Marcus had fought in enough wars to recognize preparation for combat. "Record everything," he commanded. "Every movement, every transmission. The Council will want to see this." Deep below the Earth's surface, in bunkers unknown to the approaching fleet, humanity's leaders gathered. They had spent generations preparing for this moment, building in secret, developing technologies that would make even advanced alien civilizations pause. The aliens thought they had found an easy target. They saw cities lit up at night, fossil fuel vehicles clogging the streets, primitive radio transmissions leaking into space. They saw exactly what humanity wanted them to see. Marcus sent his final report of the night shift. The aliens would arrive within a week at their current speed. That was plenty of time. Earth's hidden fleets were already moving into position, cloaked by technology that had taken decades to perfect. Let them come, Marcus thought. Humanity had a few surprises waiting for any empire that thought Earth would be an easy conquest. As his shift ended and he headed for his quarters, Marcus paused to look at the main screen one last time. Soon, the galaxy would learn that appearances could be deceiving. Earth wasn't the primitive world it appeared to be. and the approaching Empire was about to learn a very important lesson about underestimating humanity. Commander James stood on the bridge of the Imperial flagship, Star Sovereign, his golden uniform reflecting the light of distant Earth's sun. The massive view screen showed the blue planet, seemingly peaceful and unaware of their presence. His crew worked quietly at their stations, gathering data about their next conquest. "What have we learned about this world?" James asked his science officer. "Sir, our initial scans show a Type 2 developing civilization," the officer replied, checking his holographic display. "They still rely on fossil fuels. Their space program barely reaches their own moon. Military technology appears to be primitive. Nuclear weapons and chemical propulsion." James nodded, watching the planet rotate slowly on the main screen. The Empire had conquered hundreds of worlds like this one. It was always the same. Show up with overwhelming force, demand surrender, and add another planet to their vast territory. Easy and clean. "Bring up their military positions," he ordered. The screen changed to show red dots marking Earth's major military installations. Aircraft carriers moving across oceans, Air Force bases scattered across continents, missile silos that the Empire's sensors could easily detect. All painfully obvious targets. "Sir," his tactical officer called out, "something strange in the data. Their military spending seems unusually high for their technology level." James raised an eyebrow. "Explain." "They're burning through resources, but we can't fully account for where it's all going. Their visible military forces don't match the spending patterns." "Probably corruption." James dismissed the concern with a wave. "Common in developing worlds. The leaders pocket the difference. We've seen it before." The War Council gathered in the ship's strategic command center. Holograms showed Earth from every angle as the Empire's best minds planned their approach. Admiral Wilson, James's superior, led the discussion. "The planet holds significant strategic value," Wilson explained, pointing to trade routes that crossed near the solar system. "Their resources are abundant. Population is manageable. Native technology poses no threat to our forces." "What about their response capabilities?" someone asked. James stepped forward. "Their most advanced weapons are nuclear devices, primitive fusion bombs. Our shields can handle thousands of direct hits without failing. Their conventional forces are even less concerning." The council members nodded in agreement. It was standard procedure. Overwhelm them with technology centuries ahead of their own, demand surrender, and minimize casualties. The Empire preferred to acquire resources intact when possible. "Very well," Admiral Wilson decided. "Prepare the standard peaceful integration protocol. Show them our fleet, demonstrate our power, and offer them the chance to join the Empire willingly." James returned to his quarters after the meeting. Something bothered him about this world, but he couldn't put his finger on it. He reviewed the scan data again on his personal terminal. Their weapons were primitive, yes, but their tactics and military organization showed surprising sophistication. Their visible technology was basic, but their scientific publications hinted at deeper understanding. It was almost as if a knock at his door interrupted his thoughts. "Enter." His science officer hurried in. "Sir, we've detected something odd. Random energy fluctuations around the planet. They don't match any known patterns. Natural phenomenon." "No, sir. They appear artificial, but they fade too quickly to analyze. And there's something else. Some of our long-range scans aren't bouncing back correctly, like they're being absorbed or redirected." James frowned. In centuries of conquest, he'd never heard of anything like this, but the War Council had made their decision. The integration would proceed as planned. He looked out his viewport at the distant blue world. Standard procedure was to begin with a show of force, appear above their major cities, demonstrate the Empire's power, and watch their primitive weapons fail against Imperial shields. Tomorrow, they would begin. Earth would learn its place in the galaxy, just like countless worlds before it. The Empire had never failed to conquer a pre-FTL civilization, And this one would be no different. But as James prepared for sleep, he couldn't shake the feeling that they were missing something important. Something that Earth was hiding beneath its primitive exterior. 3 miles beneath the Rocky Mountains, Dr. Anna walked through a massive underground chamber that officially didn't exist. Her footsteps echoed off the walls as she approached the centerpiece of humanity's greatest secret, Project Phoenix. The device looked simple, a silver sphere floating in the middle of the chamber, surrounded by rings of strange metal. But appearances were deceiving. Inside that sphere was humanity's masterstroke, controlled dark matter technology. "How are the final tests going?" Tom, Earth's senior military advisor, asked as he entered the chamber. His uniform was plain and black, without any rank insignia. In this facility, everyone knew who he was. "Perfect," Anna smiled, checking readings on her tablet. "The Empire's sensors can't detect it. They're still busy scanning our decoy facilities. Above them, on the surface, old missile silos and military bases drew the Empire's attention. Meanwhile, Earth's real defense grid hummed quietly beneath the ground, inside mountains and deep under the oceans. "The Council is meeting in 10 minutes, Tom said. "They'll want to see a demonstration." Anna nodded and pressed her hand against a scanner. The chamber's lights dimmed as power diverted to the sphere. On massive screens around the room, data streamed past faster than human eyes could follow. The quantum computers, hidden from the Empire's scans by dark matter shields, processed information millions of times faster than the primitive computers Earth showed to the outside world. The world leaders gathered in a hidden bunker beneath Geneva. Their faces appeared on screens around Anna's chamber as she prepared her presentation. These men and women had kept Earth's secret for decades, preparing for this moment. "Ladies and gentlemen," Anna began, "Project Phoenix is ready. As you can see on your screens, the Empire's fleet is holding position beyond Mars. They think they're being subtle. They think we can barely detect them." She pressed a button, and new images appeared, crystal-clear views of the Imperial ships, their shield frequencies, weapon systems, and power readings. The Empire's stealth technology was useless against dark matter sensors. "How many ships do we have ready?" someone asked. Tom stepped forward. 500 heavy cruisers, hidden in underground bases across the planet. 2,000 smaller craft, all equipped with dark matter drives and weapons. Our smallest ship could destroy their largest vessel. The leaders murmured in approval. For 50 years, they had maintained the illusion of a divided, primitive Earth while secretly building the most powerful fleet in known space. And the defense grid. Anna changed the display. "Fully operational. We can create a dark matter shield around the entire planet in less than 60 seconds. Their weapons would never reach the surface. What about the dark matter cannon?" Anna walked to another console and brought up new images. "We've built 3. One in this facility, one under the Pacific, and one in the Sahara. Each one can..." She paused, still amazed by the power they had created. "Each one can erase a small moon from existence. No debris, no radiation. The target simply stops existing." The chamber fell silent. Humanity had created something that should have been impossible. The Empire, for all its power, still used normal matter for its weapons and ships. They had never discovered the secret of controlling dark matter. "Show us," the council leader ordered. Anna nodded to her team. The sphere in the center of the room began to pulse with a deep blue light. On the screens, a small asteroid near Mars glowed for a moment, then vanished. The Empire's sensors would show nothing unusual, just another piece of space rock that happened to break apart. "If they attack," Tom said quietly, "we can end the fight in minutes." "But that's not the plan, is it?" "No," the council leader agreed. "The plan is to make sure they never attack at all. Prepare the warning message. It's time to show the Empire exactly what they're dealing with." As the leaders discussed final details, Anna watched her screens. The Empire's ships continued their slow approach, completely unaware that they were being watched by technology centuries ahead of their own. Soon, they would learn that humanity's apparent weakness was the greatest deception in galactic history. Commander James was eating dinner in his quarters when the alert sounded. He rushed to the bridge, still wiping his mouth with a napkin. The crew looked confused, staring at their screens with wide eyes. "Report," he ordered. "Sir, we're receiving a transmission." "From Earth," his communications officer said. "It's being broadcast on all frequencies, using our own encryption protocols." James froze. That should have been impossible. Earth shouldn't even know they were here, let alone have the ability to crack Imperial codes that had stood secure for centuries. "Put it on screen." The main display lit up. The image showed a simple room with plain white walls. A single person sat at a desk, an older man in a black suit, no medals or decorations. Behind him was only Earth's flag. "To the Imperial fleet currently approaching Earth," the man began, his voice calm and steady. "We have been watching you since you entered our solar system. Your ships are currently holding position at coordinates 247 Mark 18, approximately 2.3 light minutes from Mars." James felt his stomach tighten. Those were their exact coordinates. "We have no interest in conflict," the man continued. "But we also have no interest in becoming part of your empire. To demonstrate why you should take this message seriously, please observe." The screen split. One side showed the man. The other showed a small asteroid near Mars, one the Empire's scouts had noted earlier. The asteroid began to glow with a strange blue light. Then it vanished. No explosion, no debris. One moment it existed, the next it didn't. The bridge crew gasped. James leaned forward, gripping the arms of his command chair. "Analysis. Sir, the asteroid is gone," the science officer reported, voice shaking. "No energy signature, no radiation, no fragments. It's like it never existed." The man on screen continued speaking. "What you just witnessed was a controlled dark matter reaction. We have weapons that can produce this effect on a much larger scale. Your ship's shields, impressive as they are, cannot stop what does not interact with normal matter." James watched as his crew ran scan after scan, trying to understand what they had just seen. Dark matter manipulation. It was theoretical at best, even with the Empire's advanced science. "This is your only warning," the man said. "Return to your space. Earth will not be joining your empire. We do not make threats. This is simply information you need to make an informed decision. You have 24 hours to begin withdrawal." The screen went dark. Admiral Wilson's hologram appeared on the bridge moments later. "James, tell me you have an explanation for what we just saw." "No, sir," James admitted. "Our sensors show the asteroid simply ceased to exist. No known weapon could do that. Could it be a trick? An illusion?" "Negative. And, sir, they're using our own encryption. They knew our exact position. Either their technology is far beyond what we detected, or everything we scanned was a deception." Wilson finished. "Check everything again. I want to know what we're really dealing with." The next hours were chaos. Every scan of Earth showed the same primitive civilization. But now they knew those readings couldn't be trusted. The Empire's best scientists studied the asteroid incident, but they couldn't explain it. In his quarters, James watched Earth rotate slowly on his personal screen. Everything they thought they knew about this world was wrong. The Empire had never retreated from a pre-FTL civilization before, but they had never encountered one that could make matter simply cease to exist. As the hours ticked down, James prepared 2 reports. One recommended immediate withdrawal. The other outlined a potential attack plan. He hoped the Empire's leaders would choose wisely, because deep in his gut, he knew that if they didn't, they might not live to regret it. The warning had been delivered. Now the Empire had to decide: retreat for the first time in its history, or risk facing a power they didn't understand. The Empire's response came 19 hours after Earth's warning. A single massive ship, bigger than anything in their main fleet, jumped into orbit around Mars. Its hull gleamed with gold and silver, covered in weapons that could destroy entire continents. Dr. Anna watched it appear on her monitors and smiled. "Right on time," she said to Tom, who stood beside her in the mountain facility's control room. "They sent the Imperial diplomat." "Subtle," Tom replied with a dry laugh. The diplomatic vessel was the Empire's favorite tool for intimidating stubborn worlds. Its weapons were meant to be seen, meant to frighten. The massive ship launched a smaller vessel, heading straight for Earth. Behind it, the rest of the Imperial fleet held position, weapons charged but not firing. "Not yet." Captain Marcus's voice came through the speakers. "Lunar Station tracking 1 shuttlecraft. Estimated arrival in Earth orbit, 12 minutes. Time to give them a proper welcome," Tom said, nodding to Anna. "Show them what Earth's defense grid can really do." Anna pressed her hand against the control panel. Around the planet, hidden generators powered up. Dark matter flowed through invisible channels, forming patterns that the Empire's sensors couldn't detect. The Imperial shuttle was halfway to Earth when it happened. A blue sphere of energy appeared around the entire planet, shimmering like water in sunlight. The Empire's sensors would show nothing unusual until they tried to scan through it. "They're attempting to probe the shield," Marcus reported from his station. "All their scans are being absorbed." In space, the Imperial shuttle slowed, then stopped. Its own sensors must be going crazy, trying to understand what they were seeing. The shield wasn't just blocking their scans. It was making them question everything they thought they knew about physics. "Their main ship is powering up weapons," Marcus said. "Looks like they want to test our defenses." Tom smiled. "Let them." The Imperial diplomat fired a single shot, a plasma beam that could have turned New York to ash. It hit Earth's shield and simply disappeared. No explosion, no energy discharge. The beam struck the blue field and ceased to exist. Inside the mountain facility, Anna brought up another screen. "They're scanning the asteroid belt now, probably looking for more signs of our dark matter technology." She paused, then added, "Should we give them a better demonstration?" Tom nodded. "The Council approved it. Show them what we can really do." Anna's fingers danced across her control panel. In the asteroid belt, one of Earth's hidden platforms activated. It was small, barely the size of a car, but it contained enough dark matter technology to reshape solar systems. "Target locked," Anna announced. "Firing in 3, 2, 1. A beam of pure darkness shot from the platform, invisible to normal sensors. It struck an asteroid half the size of Earth's moon. For a moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then the asteroid began to glow with that same blue light they had seen before. The massive rock didn't explode. It didn't break apart. Instead, it folded in on itself, as if space itself was bending. In less than 10 seconds, the asteroid was gone. Not destroyed, erased from existence. The Imperial shuttle immediately turned around, racing back to its mothership at full speed. "They're sending a transmission," Marcus reported, amusement in his voice. "Heavily encrypted, sending it straight to their capital, from the looks of it." Tom watched the shuttle's retreat on the main screen. "What do you think they're saying?" "Probably something along the lines of 'You're not going to believe this,'" Anna said, checking the readings from the asteroid belt. "Perfect test, no residual effects." The dark matter weapon had performed exactly as designed. The Imperial diplomat hadn't moved, its golden hull reflecting Mars' red light. Its weapons were powered down now, its sensors working overtime trying to understand what they had just witnessed. "Your move," Tom said quietly to the image of the Imperial ship. Earth had shown its power. Now they would see if the Empire was wise enough to understand what that meant. Commander James stood before the Imperial War Council, his report displayed on the massive screen behind him. The council chamber was dead silent. No whispers, no movement, just the quiet hum of life support systems. "The footage is real," James said, his voice echoing in the chamber. "We've analyzed it 100 times. Earth doesn't just have dark matter technology. They've mastered it. They can create shields our weapons can't penetrate. They can make entire asteroids disappear." Admiral Wilson shifted in his seat. "In the Empire's 10,000 years of expansion, we have never retreated from a pre-FTL civilization." "With all respect, sir," James replied, "we've never met one that could do this." The screen behind him showed the asteroid vanishing again. The council members watched with tight faces. Their empire had conquered a quarter of the galaxy through superior technology. Now they faced a single planet that could render that technology useless. "Could we overwhelm their defenses?" someone asked. "We have tens of thousands of ships. They can't possibly defend against all of them." James shook his head. "Their shield absorbed our strongest weapons without a trace. And sir," he paused, choosing his words carefully, "we don't know how many of those dark matter weapons they have. One shot, one ship gone. Forever. No debris, no escape pods, no survivors." The council chamber erupted in argument. Some demanded immediate attack, saying the Empire couldn't show weakness. Others urged caution, pointing out that they didn't understand what they were fighting. Silence. The Emperor himself spoke for the first time. Everyone froze. The Emperor was old, his face lined with centuries of rule. He stood slowly from his throne at the head of the chamber. "Commander James, you've seen these humans up close. What do you think they really want?" James thought carefully before answering. "They want to be left alone, Your Majesty. They didn't threaten to attack us. They didn't demand anything. They simply showed us what would happen if we tried to conquer them." "And if we attack?" the Emperor asked. "They'll destroy our fleet, not defeat it. Destroy it. And then," James took a deep breath, "then they might decide we're too dangerous to ignore. They could take the war to us, and we have no defense against their weapons." The chamber fell silent again. The Empire had grown through conquest, absorbing or destroying any civilization that resisted. But always before, they had understood their enemy's weapons. This was different. "There's something else," James added. "Their technology. They've had it for years. They hid it from us, built their fleet in secret. Everything we saw on their planet, the primitive weapons, the simple satellites, it was all a mask. Who knows what else they're hiding?" The Emperor walked slowly down from his throne, his ceremonial robes dragging on the floor. He stopped in front of the screen showing Earth, a simple blue marble in space. "If we retreat," he said quietly, "other worlds will hear of it. They'll know the Empire can be defied." "Yes, Your Majesty," James agreed. "But if we attack and lose, they'll know the Empire can be destroyed." The Emperor stared at Earth's image for a long time. 10,000 years of empire, dozens of generations of expansion. No retreats, no surrenders, until now. "Send the message," the Emperor finally said. "Tell them we understand their desire for independence. Tell them we'll respect their space." He turned to face the council. "And prepare for changes." The galaxy just became a much more interesting place. As James left the council chamber, he felt a weight lift from his shoulders. The Empire had just swallowed its pride, but kept its fleet. Sometimes, he thought, the greatest victory was knowing when not to fight. 3 months after the Empire's withdrawal, Earth revealed itself to the galaxy. Captain Marcus stood on the bridge of the EDS Phoenix, Earth's first official interstellar vessel, as it emerged from dark matter drive near the galaxy's largest trading hub. The massive space station hung in space like a metal spider web, ships from 1,000 worlds moving between its arms. Traffic stopped as the Phoenix appeared. No one had ever seen a ship quite like it. Sleek black hull absorbing light, blue energy patterns flowing across its surface. "All eyes are on us," Tom said from beside Marcus. He wore a simple black uniform with Earth's new symbol, a phoenix rising from a spiral galaxy. "Good," Marcus replied. Time to introduce ourselves properly. The Phoenix's arrival had been announced in advance. Representatives from every major civilization waited in the station's grand hall. The Empire's ambassador stood among them, trying to hide his nervousness. Marcus and Tom transported directly into the hall using dark matter technology. No shuttle, no docking procedure. One moment they weren't there, the next they were. The assembled aliens gasped. "Greetings," Marcus said, his voice translated into 100 languages by their advanced systems. "We are from Earth. For centuries, we watched the galaxy, learning, preparing. Today, we join the galactic community as equals." Screens around the hall activated, showing Earth's fleet emerging from hiding. Ships rose from under oceans, from mountain bases, from cloud cities hidden in gas giants. Satellites transformed, revealing their true forms. Defensive platforms appeared around every planet in the solar system. "The Empire tried to conquer us," Marcus continued. "We showed them why that was a mistake. But we're not here to threaten anyone. We're here to trade, to share knowledge, to be part of something greater than ourselves." He gestured, and a hologram appeared in the center of the hall. It showed the dark matter drive plans. "This is our gift to the galaxy. Clean, safe, faster than light travel. No more ripping holes in space. No more radiation dangers. A new way to move among the stars." The assembled representatives murmured in excitement. Even the Empire's ambassador leaned forward with interest. "But understand this," Tom stepped forward, his voice firm. "Earth remains independent. We will defend ourselves if threatened. We will protect those who ask for our help. And we will not tolerate the strong preying on the weak." In the weeks that followed, the galaxy changed. The Empire's grip on power loosened as other worlds realized they had choices. Trade routes shifted as dark matter ships made new paths possible. Smaller civilizations began approaching Earth for protection, for trade, for alliance. Dr. Anna worked tirelessly, teaching other worlds about dark matter technology. But not all of it. Earth kept some secrets. The weapons remained locked away, a deterrent against any future threats. 1 month after the Phoenix's arrival, the Emperor himself visited Earth. He stood in the same mountain facility where Project Phoenix had been born, looking at the silver sphere that had changed the balance of power in the galaxy. "You could have conquered us," he said to Tom and Marcus. "Why didn't you?" "Because that's not who we are," Marcus answered. "We don't want to rule the galaxy. We just want to make it better." The Emperor nodded slowly. "Perhaps that's why you deserve your power more than we did." As Earth's influence grew, the old saying spread across the galaxy: "Be careful who you underestimate." The Empire thought Earth was weak, and the Empire learned better. But those who came to know Earth's people learned another truth. Humanity's greatest power wasn't their dark matter technology or hidden fleets. It was their ability to face overwhelming force and say no, their determination to remain free, their willingness to hide their strength until it was needed. And as the years passed, the galaxy became a different place, not ruled by force, but guided by cooperation. Not united by conquest, but by choice, all because one primitive world had decided to show an empire that appearances could be deceiving.